Hey everybody, what's up? Robin here from Haney's Gaming. I hope you guys had a great Christmas break. I'm just getting back from my break too, and I apologize for not putting a couple videos. I meant to put some out earlier. I meant to have some like coming out as I was gone on my Christmas break, but unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't really happen. But I'm back now. I know it's Saturday today, and I meant to do. Usually I do my magic videos on Friday, but today I'm just gonna do it today because I know a lot of people who watch my channel watch for the Friday night magic videos, and I didn't want to miss this week just because I'm a little bit behind, but I know it's Saturday today, but we're going to put it out today anyways. And today we're going to feature a very common deck that's been around for quite a while. This is called a white weenie deck, and the whole purpose of this deck is to be as aggressive as possible, and it's all white. Obviously with this card pool we can't make a super fast aggressive deck, but we can make something that's pretty effective, and I'm going to show you guys what I got here so far. So, let's hop in here. So you'll notice that the creature count is pretty low. It's all 1 drops, 2 drops, 6 3 drops, 3 4 drops, and 2 5s. And the land count is 24 planes. So pretty low land count. Everything's pretty low cost, and the basic strategy here is to just get as much guys out as possible and just keep pressuring your opponent until they break and try to win by turn. Usually by turn 4 to 5 usually have the game sealed at that point if you're gonna win it all, but sometimes they go a little bit longer. It all depends, and sometimes you need that extra little push just to get through, and we have a couple cards in there to help us do that. But let's see what we got here first. So the Elite Vanguard is the first card we have. It's a 2/1 for 1 mana. It doesn't look that great, but for 2/1 for 1 mana in aggressive deck is very good, especially when you have some cards that help buff it up, as I'll show you later on. We have a couple exalted cards and stuff like that, which are going to help him be bigger. So when you cast him on turn 1, he may be swinging on turn 2 as a 3/2 or something even bigger. So keep that in mind. He is a good card. You want him obviously in your draw when you in your hand when you draw, because he's kind of useless later on. He's just a small body later on, but he's good to have in your opening hand for sure. Second card we have here, so we have 3 of him, which is as many as you can get. I would put 4 if we had 4, but the game only lets us put 3. So second card is Kite-Style Apprentice. This is a 1/1 for 1 cost. It's not the greatest card, but it does have a cool ability, which is when it is equipped with equipment, forgot what it was there, it gets +1/+1 and has flying. So it's a good card to kind of help burst through your opponent. Initially I was going to put the Loyal Pegasus down, but I kind of like the idea of constantly swinging and keeping doing damage, and the Pegasus can kind of be countered a little bit easier. So the Kite Sail is great, and we do have equipment in this deck. Not a ton, but we do have some. And actually we're going to go to the equipment right now, show you guys what I got. So I got the Darksteel Axe. I got 2 of these in here just to help buff the Kite-Style Apprentice up, and to use with the Stoneforge Mystic, which I will go through. So he's just a small little weenie that can be buffed up, and he's very useful in games where your opponent like puts up a wall or has a pretty good defense but doesn't have anything to block flyers, which does happen occasionally. So he helps work for that. Araskian Squire is it's a 1/1 for Exalted. Again, seems kind of mediocre, but this guy is really good because you can play him on turn 1, or if you have 2, you can play 2 on turn 2. And any card you play, this is why it's very important to get your turn 1 drop or your turn 2 drop, is because once you play him, your guys will be swinging him for even more. So you can play him on turn 1 and then swing him on turn 2 as a 2/2. So he's really good at keeping the pressure going and buffing up your guys. And you're going to see that a lot of decks have a hard time keeping up with him, and it's a good card, and it works pretty good with the other exalted cards in the deck. So I put 4 of those in there for now. Stoneforge Mystic is a 2/1/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Again, when you play it, it's basically used as card fetch. I don't care too much about his ability, which is put in an equipment card from your hand on the battlefield. Since the equipment we all have is 1 mana, paying 2 mana and tapping this is kind of pointless. But the card is just basically in here for the land. I mean, not for the land fetch, for the equipment fetch. Trying to create card advantage and again get something that's going to help do more damage, especially with some of the flyers we have to help break through like some of the earlier defenses. So I put 2 of those in there for now. You could probably swap it out for Let's see what else we got here for a card pool. You could probably swap it out for... Originally I had these guys in here, the Hero of Orias, but there's no enchantments or nothing, so I kind of got rid of them. But you could swap it out for maybe like any one of the lower drops, really. Preferably a creature, since you're trying to keep the theme of doing damage and rushing your opponent. That's what I would put, but it's a good card. I like it. The Paladin is great. It's actually really good. It's basically traditional White Knight on roids. It's got the first strike. It's a 2/2 plus Exalted. The only downside is, of course, it has 2 planes, but this doesn't matter in a monocolor deck because you're always going to have 2 planes as long as you have 2 mana. So he works pretty good with these guys here, the Squires, because again you can play one of these guys on turn 1, swing in for turn 2, or play him on turn 2 and swing in for 3 damage. So and then you can swing him after for more. So they buff up pretty good. It's a great card. Squadron Hawk is there's a couple of reasons why you put this in the deck. Number 1, it's a flyer. Number 2, it creates this card advantage. We only need 1 in our hand to kind of use his ability, which is when he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for up to 3 cards named Squadron Hawk. So basically, it's kind of card fetch. Let's say you have a hand with a lot of land and you don't have much to play. You can keep a hand with him because he can help get more creatures, and he's a flyer, and he just kind of helps you create card advantage and whatnot. Good card. Raise the Alarm. With a deck like this that focuses on white creatures and little weenies and stuff like that, the ability to put 2/1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield as an instant is very good. I have 3 currently right now. You could probably put 4 if you want to cut something out. But it's a great card. Usually you want to use it on your opponent's turn or at their end step to kind of surprise them and have that launch of an attack the next turn. But it's a good card. It's great. Brisma's King of Oreskos is incredible. I basically put him in there number 1 because he's a token generator, and number 2 he's crazy. For a 3/4 for 3 mana, he's just crazy. With Vigilance, whenever Brisma's King of Oreskos attacks, put a 1/1 white cat soldier creature token with Vengeance on the battlefield attacking. Whenever he blocks, do the exact same thing. So if you have anything that buffs up your creatures or anything like that, that 1/1 will turn into a 2/2 or a 3/3 depending on what you have. So keep that in mind. Very good card. The casting cost is what makes it not so great, but even then for 2 whites, and especially in a monoed white, it's auto include. Mentor the Meek is a great card. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. This is just to help you get your card draw engine going. Like, let's say your opponent kind of is putting up a defense, maybe, you know, you just kind of need more cards or whatever like that. It works really good, and if your opponent doesn't deal with it right away, especially in a white weenie deck, it gets pretty crazy. It takes off quite a bit. Unfortunately, we can only put 2 in the deck. Maybe would like to have maybe 3, maybe 4, but it's fine with 2. I find I draw them pretty consistently, and most of the time you don't even need it. It's just kind of a insurance kind of thing. Safe Passage is basically it's kind of an extra card I put in there just to help you do that push. Like, let's say your opponent has, you kind of put your opponent down to half health, you're starting to stabilize a bit, and you have a pretty good creature board, and you want to swing in, but you're kind of scared, you don't want to lose too much, you're not sure if you should attack next or wait. This card kind of helps you, number 1, it'll help you swing in with everybody, and then you can plop it up as an instant after he blocks, do the damage, keep all your creatures alive, and then go for the kill next turn. Or you can use it, like, let's say your opponent tries to board wipe or kill one of your really big guys. Usually you want to save it as to protect your guys. So let's say you have a pretty big board and you're worried that your opponent's going to wipe it all out. Just kind of keep your 3 mana untapped and keep it there. I just run 1 because I don't want the deck to be too spell heavy or anything like that. So I just use 1. And it seems to be pretty good. Again, it's good for that extra little push. Usually you don't need it, but it just helps in those, you know, occasional matches where you get that kind of situation. Next card is Paragon of the New Dawns. For 4 mana, 2/2 isn't that great, but the fact that it buffs up all your other white creatures is good. Because think about it like this, in a mono white deck, it buffs up every creature +1/+1. It's not just 1 or 2. It's every creature, and with all the tokens, it really adds up. And its ability, another target creature you control gains Vigilance, isn't that big of a deal, but it's only 1 mana. And usually you don't want to attack with this guy just to help keep him alive. You want to keep him alive. Keep. I guess you can call it her. I don't know, but you want to keep it alive as much as possible to get the buff. So I mean, it's okay with tapping it, and it knows only one plane. So usually, since it's a low costing deck, usually you can afford to play the planes. So I mean, the ability does work to some degree. And I put 3 of those in there. I'm not sure if there's 3 or if there's 4. Let me just check. No, there's only 3, so I put all 3 in there. Next card is Angelic Edict. Ideally in a mono weenie you'd want to have something like Path to Exile or some cheap removal. Fortunately this game doesn't have good cheap white removal other than maybe Arrest, but even that's not that good and it's not that cheap. So I just put these guys in there. You could put one of the, if you don't like this card, you could put, let's see where it is. You could put Banisher out or something like that. It's basically a body that removes a creature on the field, but me, I like to be able to get rid of it for good. This guy is good, but I find like your opponent can just do too many shenanigans with a well-placed shock and kind of catch you off guard or something. I was never a huge fan of those type of cards, really. So I put the Angelic Edict, which basically exile target creature enchantment. Put 2 just in case, you know, if like your opponent plays something really big or something kind of, you know, like just in case kind of thing. It does work. The Darksteel Axe, of course, and the Hall of Triumph, which is for 3 mana. As Hall of Triumph enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+1, and that color will obviously be white, so that you can get the buff. Normally you'd put, there's a couple other white spells that are a lot cheaper that you can do instead of this one, but this game only has this card as a buff for all your creatures, so you kind of forced to put it in there. But that's the basic deck guide. As you guys can see, I can't remember if I showed you my land count, but there is 24 lands. 60 cards, of course, pretty high. I mean, pretty low mana curve, pretty high in the 1, 2 drops for sure, 3 drops, and you see a kind of nice little curve that kind of goes down. So, but that's the basic deck, and we're gonna go in and play a couple matches and see how it is. This is a pretty good deck. I'd say it's a good deck for beginners. Aggressive decks are always good, but if you're just getting into Magic 2015 or anything like that, this is a good deck to start off with, I'd say. Especially as some of you guys watch my other videos, I do like more you know, advanced decks, 3 colors, control decks and stuff like that. I would definitely get used to starting with this deck for sure. It's pretty easy to play, but it still takes skill. Don't think that aggressive decks don't take skill, but it just works really good. So our first hand here is pretty good. We got our 1 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, 2 drop. This is almost about as perfect as a hand we can get. It's pretty solid. The only thing I don't like about this is that we don't play first, but that's not a big deal. So, first turn is obviously going to be the Squire. And our second turn is probably going to be maybe a Squadron Hawk, maybe Raise the Alarm, not sure yet. Looks like he's playing Izzet deck, which might be a bit of an issue. How many board wipes he has and whatnot. So, I guess we're going to attack first. Get our buff here, see what he does. He might shock this or something. I'm not 100% sure. Go for a 2 damage. We're probably going to play Squadron Hawk, I think. Just to be able to swing in next turn for the 2. If he does make a play a blocker or something like that, I want to be able to swing in. And the Exalted ability does work. We're going to grab both of our Squadron Hawks here, so we can thin out our deck a bit. Because we pretty much have all the land we want at this point. We kind of want to draw creatures now and whatnot. Okay, Chasm Stalker is perfectly fine. Not too threatening yet. Does get pretty big, but again, it's not that big of a deal. So we'll give him with a choice here. We can either play our Mentor of the Meek and start drawing cards, or we can keep the aggression going. It's a tough choice because the Paladin would help us keep the aggression going and help us block and help us do damage, and it would bait out removal. I think we're going to play that. But the Mentor of the Meek would be nice to draw cards. I think we're going to go with this just to keep the pressure up. And then next turn, if we need to, we can play the Mentor of the Meek. I just want to keep the pressure on here. And he's going to be forced to remove this. I'd rather him remove this guy than this, the Mentor of the Meek. So, see what he has though. Swinging it for 3 damage here is pretty good on turn 3 still. Blue does have a lot of blockers and stuff like that, especially flyers, so he might play something like that. But if he's playing Izzet, he's going to probably have a lot of burn. Yep. That's what I figured. Question of what's he gonna attack? Oh, he's gonna attack the flyer. That's an interesting choice because I fetched the other 2. I wonder if he knows about that. Huh. Okay. Pretty interesting choice there. We play the Mentor now? Well, it can't be countered or anything. I think we're gonna play the Mentor now. We'll swing in here. Actually, we probably should have swung in first, but whatever. Actually, we should swing in with this guy because we'll get the 2 buffs to make him 3, and then we'll keep this guy able to block if we have to next turn. Almost didn't see that till the last minute. But hopefully our Mentor stays alive. If not, it's not too big of a deal. It'll help him distract us from going to our life points, our health, so yeah. Because with the Izzet deck, the big strategy of the deck for the Izzet is to do damage directly. So if we're kind of forcing him to remove our creatures, it's going to kind of help us in a way too. And gonna do here? Oh, okay, it's Tyrant. So he's starting to get pretty. He's starting to take off here, but he's all tapped out, which is good. Don't think he's gonna attack. No, okay. So a couple choices we could do here. We could either play this guy and swing in with everybody. Don't think that would be the best move. I think we're gonna play a Squadron Hawk, draw a card, wait till next turn, then maybe play Raise the Alarm and kind of surprise him. And then next turn we can go for him for the big swing. I think that's what we're gonna do. Not 100% sure on that, but we'll fetch last Squadron Hawk here. Keep our mana open. We're gonna swing with 2, 3. I think this guy is the right guy to swing in with, because he's probably gonna block it, I'd say. Oh, maybe not. He might keep his guy alive. Try to get kind of greedy with it and keep alive for one more turn. Yeah, he's gonna do that. Okay. So we're gonna try and force out a counterspell this turn with Raise the Alarm, and if he doesn't have a counterspell, or if he does counter, we're gonna play this guy next turn. We're kind of setting up for the finish next turn here, because I'm trying to think about what he could do to kind of hurt me here. He doesn't want to swing in, right? Okay, we're gonna drop this down, see if we can pay out the counterspell. There it is. Cool. That guarantees us the win, I believe. My math skills are half decent. Even if it doesn't guarantee the win, it almost guarantees that because like we play this guy, buffs everybody up. I'm trying to think if we should swing in this turn or not. 2, 4, 5, 6. So we got everybody swinging for 2. He blocks 3, does 5 damage. It's almost not worth it to attack with everybody, but at the same time it kind of is. Because he's going to start getting a little bit crazy with his buffs and stuff. So I think it is, but I don't know. It's a tough choice at this point. Maybe just swing in with a Squadron Hawk for now. Encourage him to block it. The thing is though, he's gonna start getting tokens with this, but in order to keep up with his tokens, he's gonna need spells. So I hope that was the right thing to do. It's just when this guy dies, he's gonna get 4 tokens. So we're gonna have to swing it. Mind you, he has to kill him first. So he's at the point where he's so big now that he's gonna be hard for him to die, so it's kind of hurting him in a way. Kinda is, kinda isn't. Right. So I think this turn we might go in with everybody. Especially after we draw with this guy, Mentor the Meek. Yeah, so he's tapped out, he's got nothing he can do. He blocks 4, he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's gonna take 4 damage regardless. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. We're just gonna drop everybody down here. Yes, we can't use the Squadron Hawk's ability because we already used it. And we can pray he doesn't have a board wipe. And then we should be able to win by next turn. It's a little risky, but I feel if we wait too long, it's just gonna, like, all he needs to draw is the anger of the gods or something like that, and our whole board is gone. So try and swing in while we can or something. I'm surprised he didn't kill the Mentor of the Meek. Oh, I guess he can't because he's got to block everything else. The Knight's not really that important. I definitely would block the Mentor. Okay, so he's at 1 life. We're gonna hold on to the Squire, just in case if he does board wipe. Possibility. Okay, I don't think he's got anything though. It looks like we have just enough to finish this guy off. And we're coming with our white weenies. It's a pretty fun deck to play. It's a nice little quick aggressive deck. Pretty straightforward, but it can be tricky because there's a lot of instances where you're kind of put like in a situation where it's like, do I attack? Or do I hold off? Or, you know, kind of like what we just went through. And it's really hard to gauge it when to attack or when to block. You really just gotta take a good educated guess at what you think your opponent has. Go for it. That should wrap us up for this game. Pretty sure. He's gonna take one out, get a blocker. Yeah, he still can't block the 1 extra damage. Fortunately for him. Or, yeah, the 1 damage sneaks through. We just barely squeaked out a victory there, so I think we waited just long enough to attack. Oh, that was the right choice to make, like right at the right point. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna play another game here, hop in. Hopefully somebody joins pretty quick. I was gonna bring you guys a mono blue deck that I made with one of my friends, Adam, on the holidays, but we're gonna do that next week, I think, because I still gotta tweak it a bit. It's gonna be basically a Talrand deck based around, because I don't think I did a mono blue control deck yet, and it's pretty good. This hand is no good because there's no creatures. This hand's a lot better. I mean, we don't have tons, but we do have We do play first, and we do have a pretty good creature counter. But I'll probably be making the mono blue deck next week. I'm gonna try making some mono color decks. You guys try to keep things go simplistic. Try to base some decks on some classic kind of decks and stuff like that. Like I want to do a mono blue control. I can't remember if I did a mono green deck yet or not, but I want to do something like that. I want to do. I think I did a red one before. I just did a white one. I don't think I did a black one actually. I don't think we did black yet in this 2015. Maybe we'll do a black one and then we'll. I think that's all the mono colors. But we can still make a couple of different other ones too. Should be fun though. I like making monocolor decks. They always perform really well and they're really consistent, which is why I like them. This is a bit of a problem. We're gonna swing in with the 2-1 because I kinda want him to block that because that card's pretty good. See if he'll make the trade. Okay, so he doesn't make the trade, which is fine. Yeah, we're gonna drop everybody down. Just in case if we get a buff next turn. Like he's playing an artifact deck of some sort. Maybe one similar to the one I made last week, I think. I haven't seen anybody play an artifact deck yet, so hard to say. Yeah, this isn't really the best. I think we're just gonna swing in again with the 2. We could go in with everybody, but in the long turn, the extra damage that we're gonna get from these guys, if it does work out, is just it's too valuable just to throw your tokens away. With all the different buffs and whatnot. Okay. Curious Capsule. So we can play it, but he can't play the ability. Actually, we're gonna drop our Raise the Alarm here. Alright. Drop the Paladin. We'll swing in with everyone? Let's see how much damage we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He blocks 2, loses 1 creature, does 4 damage. No, we're just gonna block in with 1. So we're swinging with 1 here. Yeah, we'll swing in with a token. That way it'll do 2 damage. We'll keep this guy alive, because if we swung in with this guy, he could just kill with the 2-1, which I don't want him to do. Keep in mind that the first strike will hit this guy before the death touch, so the death touch won't apply if we attack with the Paladin, which is pretty cool. Which might actually even provoke us to attack next turn. I might exile one of these guys. I'm gonna keep the 2-1 alive because it's not threatening. Whatever I attack anyways is gonna. Oh, here we go. There we go. We're just gonna swing in with everybody here. And the safe passage will help us keep everybody alive. Or do I want to do it the other way around? So we got 5 damage going to the face. Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. We could have waited a little bit till we had like a stronger board, but I think it's the right time to do that. He's only got the 2 blockers. Oh, Meteorite. Interesting. So we're just gonna exile one of these guys. I think, and just keep swinging in, and hopefully we can finish him off. He's kind of starting to stabilize, which is kind of unfortunate, but we might have enough power to finish him off here. If we got a buff of some sort, it'd be perfect. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have did that. 6, do 3 damage, take him down to 4. Yeah. You know what? We should have played Angelic Edict and take out one of these guys and just swing in. That's what we should have did. Because now we almost have to wait for the buff. Yeah. We're screwed now. That was not a good choice. Mind you, we could... Oh no, that's not gonna work because he's gonna get his token here. Mind you, this can still go in our favor. But we're gonna have to get rid of that regardless. That card's just way too powerful. And I think we're gonna swing in here. We're swinging at everybody. 5, 6, 7. 4, taking on the 4. It's so close, like... No, we're not gonna attack. Just because... we need a buff or something. Because if we get a buff, we just instantly win. That's good in a way. Is he gonna counter that? Oh wow, he actually countered the Squire. I mean, you know what? I guess it's good in a way because it helped me remove his board. Ooh, the jellyfish. Don't really care about that. Ooh, Mentor the Meek's pretty good. Ah, no! Yeah. Keep playing something, hopefully we can kill him before he kills us. When it's pretty much at that point of the game. Ay, another meteorite. Again, any kind of buff would, like, do us a solid. Because then we could match all his creatures. I wonder what he has for a counter, though. If he has another counter. Oh, that works. Well, sort of helps. Sort of. It's just the question, do we want to swing in here with the token? Do you want to keep chipping away, or do you want to just... I feel like we have to. Because we can have the advantage here. It's a 3-1. He's got to block it somehow. We got the higher life total. I feel like we kind of have to. And pray he doesn't get any one of his... Pray he doesn't get another of the... What the heck is it? This guy here, the Sharding Sphinx. Another one. Wait, what happened to the other two? Didn't he have like 3 of them? Oh, I see what he's doing. He's putting it back in his hand so he can keep playing it every turn. Ooh, that's clever. That's clever. Let's see. That's clever. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Uh-oh. This is not good, though. Because he's going to keep chipping away at us. We'll keep attacking here, and hopefully we can break through. Looks like he's gonna stabilize though. Yeah, because he's just gonna keep playing stuff to the point where we can't do nothing. Where we're gonna have nothing on the board that's half decent, really. So I think we've already kind of lost, in a way. Unless maybe we get a mentor or something. Nah. Actually, you probably should have attacked there. Whoops. Actually, no, you would have just blocked it. Never mind. So I think that's GG. Played another turn. We'll play out a couple turns and see what happens, but I don't think there's anything we can really do. It's really going to pull us out of this one. So maybe we should have waited an extra turn before he played the safe passage. It's a tough choice. It's hard to play aggressive decks. They're not as easy as everybody thinks they are. Yeah, more land. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We'll play out this turn and then pretty much has beat at this point. Alright, let's see what we can do. And nope, that's not gonna cut it. Almost though, because like if we could buff him up enough, we could swing in, but it's not gonna happen. Wouldn't have even been enough anyways. So that's GG. You got us there. Hop in and play one more, see if we can do the tiebreaker. 1-1. Packet. Oh. This is the one to play with us today. So yeah, the turning point of the game I think was when the guy got his meteorite and kept kind of abusing the damage he could do with it. And we also didn't really have anything we could play with our hand. This isn't a good hand. It doesn't have a lot of buffs or anything like that. We have the creatures, which is fine. Hopefully we'll draw into some buffs this time. It happens though. There's not a lot of buffs in the game, which is unfortunate. I'd like to have more like it would be pretty cool if they put something like Honor the Pure into 2015, but the problem with that card is that it's pretty overpowered. Well, not overpowered per se, but it would work really well with a Weenie deck, a white one. So yeah, I could see why. Right. Off to a pretty good start with the Vanguard. Going in for 2 here. Now, do you want to play the Hawk or do you want to play the other Vanguard? Let's say we play Raise the Alarm. Debate him into not playing a blocker or something. Could kind of punish him if he had no creatures to play, but he's got a wall, so that's not too bad. In this case, Raise the Alarm is kind of the better play. Because we can just swing in freely and not worry about any of our guys dying. And regardless, we're going to do 2 damage. I guess the Vanguard would have did the same thing though. But we wouldn't have maximized our mana as much. So we're swinging here. I think this is going to be pretty straightforward, this game. Try to rush him as quick as possible. The 2 damage. Play the Squadron Hawk. Yep, we'll grab all copies. Then play the Elite Vanguard. And try to just overwhelm this guy. Hopefully by thinning out our deck a bit, we'll draw something other than land or just low weenies. I think the next deck guide I'm going to do for the next week is going to be a mono green ramp. I don't think we did a mono green ramp deck guide yet. I think that'd be pretty fun. Ooh, interesting, Gristlebrand. We can swing in freely here. We don't have to worry about anything dying. Wonder why he has this guy in his deck. That's a pretty crazy card. Insane casting cost too. Three, 4, 5. That'll do 5 damage to him. He must be playing at least a 3-color deck. Yeah. We'll just drop these 2 down. He might be playing a res kind of type of deck. Maybe why he has a Gristlebrand. Possibility. We're just gonna swing in here with everybody. Be enough to, and hopefully we should be enough to finish the game by next turn. He's kinda having a rough start. Curious to see what hand he picked at the beginning, or what's in his hand right now, for that matter. We're just gonna drop everybody. I don't think he can wipe or nothing, so. Yeah. Looks like that's a game. So a little pretty quick game here. As most games you play with this deck are gonna be pretty quick. Yeah, we can just attack here. So I hope you guys like this week's edition of Friday Night Magic. Sorry you missed well, technically Saturday Magic, but we're just called Friday Night Magic. Let me guys know if you want some deck let me guys know if you guys want to see me make certain decks, or you want to give me some deck ideas. Let me know what you guys think of this white weenie deck, and if you guys make any changes. And see you guys next week. And yeah, if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Leave a comment, like the video. Let me know what you think. And again, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys next week.